Hello, beautiful people. This is Sid here, Spiritual Muse, Crystals of Quartz on Instagram. You can find us at crystalsofquartz.com for all of your spiritual needs. I'm here today to talk to you about two things. So I'm pretty late on posting my new moon video, but now I think I know why. So apparently on TikTok, a bunch of supposed baby witches hex the moon. Today is a new moon. It's a new moon in Cancer. So I want to talk about both. I want to talk about our new moon, as I always do. I always tell you guys about the new moons, the full moons. I tell you what's going on, what it means. And then I also want to talk about how ridiculous it is to try and hex the moon and just a little bit on that. So I'm just going to kind of dive right in. I'm going to talk about this particular new moon first. So in case this is the first video you've ever watched with me, maybe you are a baby witch, you're just getting into this kind of stuff. New moons are always about manifesting, right? It's when it's kind of like as if the dirt it's just dirt, right? And then you plant a seed because there's nothing else there but dirt, right? It's that moment before creation when everything is dark, and then all of a sudden things start to blossom, right? And the moon starts to grow full. And that is the energy of a new moon, right? Yeah, my baby's next to me. So if you're wondering the little giggles, that's her. So new moons are a really powerful time. It's my favorite time in the moon cycle because it's the time that you get to focus on what you want to create. Now, Cancer, it's the sign of the crab. That's where the moon is sitting in the sky right now. And basically, Cancer is a very emotional sign, right? If you know a Cancer, they may be sort of very in touch with their emotions. They may be okay with crying in front of people. They're very nurturing people. So Cancer has all that kind of stuff going on. They're also, Cancer is really related to like safety and emotional security. So a Cancer, when you're around them, is probably going to feel a little bit like being at home or like being with your mom because they're very loving, nurturing people. And so that's kind of like the energy of this moon. So this is going to be a really beautiful moon in terms of focusing on our own personal goals. It's going to be about the moon is opposite Saturn. So we're going to have restrictions that make it hard to express ourselves, and distancing from others is going to cause feelings of rejection. So we're still dealing with all of this stuff going on in the world. We're still not seeing people as much as we used to. And that might cause us to feel a little bit rejected because of the whole, Cancer aspect that makes us really want to be nurtured by others and to nurture others. So it's hard sometimes if we can't have those hugs, that physical contact. We may be feeling sort of that skin withdrawal at this time. So this new moon is fairly simple. Really, I just want you guys to focus on your personal goals. So it's a great time to focus on what you want to manifest. So any new moon, I always like to think about the things that I'm working on in my life. And then sometimes by the full moon, it happens. It's crazy. All you have to do is just ask the moon. So the moon is your friend. The moon is your guide. The moon, to me, sorry, mom, but the moon is like a second mother to me, or like a wonderful aunt who is just guiding me in the right direction in life. She's always there for me. And just like always looking out for me, always, kind of lighting my path in this world and just kind of shining light onto things in my life that need to be noticed, that kind of thing. So interestingly for me, this new moon is in my first house, which means that I need to kind of focus on myself, which is another thing that this moon is really great for because it's about working on your personal goals. So if you're interested in knowing what house this moon is in for you, we can talk about that because my rising sign is Cancer. So that means that Cancer was in my first house when I was born. So much cool stuff with astrology. You got to get into it. It's awesome. So now to get into this whole moon hexer scandal TikTok thing. So I don't have a TikTok. I downloaded one for a couple of days and I was like, this is not for me because it seemed like it was just a bunch of girls dancing half naked. I was not into it. And apparently I didn't see any of like the funny stuff. But anyway, so I never really re-downloaded it. I got enough stuff on my plate with this little angel. So yeah, that's my stance on TikTok. Now, apparently TikTok actually can be a wonderful source for baby witches. There's like a whole witch TikTok section, I guess. And apparently people on there, some supposed baby witches, we're not really sure exactly who because they're being protected, which I think is important because, internet trolls can be really mean. So anyway, apparently they tried to hex the moon. Now let me talk about how ridiculous that is for a second, that baby witches would try to hex the moon. So the moon is a celestial body, a giant celestial body. It literally moves tides. I don't believe you can hex the moon. I just don't believe it. I won't believe it. I believe you could try. And I believe that if you do, that it's going to come back to you threefold in a very powerful way. So I wish that somebody had led these baby witches in a different direction. I wish that they had some better guidance as to not hex the moon. My personal stance on hexing is that I've never done it and I will never do it. I believe in the law of attraction, and I believe whatever you put out comes back to you, right? And there's also this witchy rule, right? Of like, it's the rule of threes, and it's the whole idea that like anytime you do something, it comes back to you threefold. So if you do a spell or a hex, you have to be ready to have that come back to you. So if you're going to try a hex, you have to also want what you're doing badly enough that you're okay with the repercussions. So for me, I am a rule follower in life in general. You know, I was always sort of the type, I have this crazy like moral compass that is like, just like go straight. So I never felt aligned with hexes. I have never done a hex. So I can't speak on that too much, but I can say that things come back to you threefold. So if you are doing things that are in coming from a space of love, then you're going to get love back. And if you're doing things in a space of anger or hate, you know, you're going to get some of that backlash. So just be careful. I'm not going to tell anyone else what to do with their practice because it is your practice, but that is just sort of a word to the wise. That is what you can expect to happen if you, whatever you do in terms of magical practices, that it is going to come back to you. So personally, I just like to wish people well. Even, you know, these baby witches that did the hex, I am just like I'm sending the moon tons of love because the moon has always guided me and been awesome. But I'm also sending these baby witches or whoever did this hex, for whatever reason, I'm sending them all the love too, because clearly they need guidance. And clearly they are not appreciating our moon the way that we should. So it is just such an amazing, beautiful thing to work with the moon. I feel like I've been talking about myself a lot during this, but I just kind of want to explain where I'm coming from. And I feel with all of the people that are sort of watching my page and all the baby witches that come to me, I feel like I owe it to you guys to really be just like completely open and talk about this kind of stuff, because it's really important that you are careful in your practice. To me, I really want all of you guys to have a wonderful practice so that it doesn't scare you away from this sort of stuff, because it can really make your life beautiful. So I've been working with the moon for many years at this point. I truly believe that working with the moon, manifesting with every new moon has brought me wonderful things in my life. I have a business that is flourishing and continues to do so. I have to say that it's really amazing just to sit down every month and focus on what you want and realize what things you still want and what things maybe are changing and flowing in different directions. It's also really important to release with the full moons, and working with those moon cycles can be super powerful. And I'm just always going to be here to thank the moon, show gratitude to the moon, show gratitude to our wonderful planet, all of the things in nature that we have. It's just so important. Oh, apparently they also tried to hex the Fae, which is... Oh my gosh, no, don't do that. Don't hex the Fae and baby witches. Don't do it. Cassidy's smiling at me. She's like, hee hee. Her middle name is Fae. So, my little fairy, my little house fairy. So, I really just want to tell you, like, just be careful. And, oh, about the Fae too. So, when things go missing in your house, that's a time you want to say kindly to the Fae, your house Fae, my house Fae. You want to just ask them kindly to bring it back to you. I have a little, it's called a fairy castle cactus, and I like to put little gifts for the Fae around it when something goes missing. And the last time I did that, I found the thing that I was missing right after, which was actually a card, which I had somehow gotten behind my dresser, and I would have never thought to look for that, but I just heard this little voice, little Faye voice coming in the background, like, check back there. Maybe it fell under. I would have never thought to do that. So yeah, don't hex the Fae, don't hex the moon. Be careful if you do hexes in general. It's up to you, but I would advise against doing it until you're more well practiced at least. And in general, if you are working from a space of love, it can never go bad. So that's my general suggestion, is just to work from a space of love whenever possible, and to live from a space of love whenever possible. This was a little bit longer of a video than I intended it to be. If you watch the whole thing, awesome. I'm always here to try and guide you guys in the right direction. I never really had anyone guiding me. I'm mostly self-taught. So, you know, I've kind of learned by making mistakes. And that's one reason too why I don't want people to be too hard on anyone that's making a mistake, because that's how we learn. And I just hope that whoever did this is going to learn from it. I hope that it doesn't hurt too much in the process, but sometimes it has to happen like that in order to grow. And just know that the moon is fine. Like, the moon always needs and wants your love, but this is not going to, you know, make the moon an enemy. The moon will always be your friend. The moon is always there to guide you. And yeah, the moon's going to be okay, because these are just like some silly people that tried something that really could never work, in my opinion. And that's what I choose to believe, is that the moon is a very incredibly powerful force that moves our oceans. And nobody can really hurt the moon, because it's always going to be up there. So, you know, just don't hex the moon. And that's the moral of this story. And then in terms of this particular new moon, really just focus on those personal goals. If you would like a house reading for this new moon, I'd be happy to help you out. Just reach out to me on Instagram or via the website. And yeah, I look forward to hearing all of your moon ceremonies for this new moon. I hope we all take a little extra time to send the moon some love, and to send yourself some love too. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. And yeah, have a beautiful day. Enjoy this new moon. Stay safe, and much love.